Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new week. I'm actually really excited because we're going to do a new activity that I haven't done before with any of my classes to this date anyway, and I hope you're really going to enjoy it. It's a pronunciation exercise, but we're going to be doing it through a project. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you went into the discussion board and you talked about a public service announcement, a PSA. That's what it's short for. About something that is near and dear to your heart. You feel passionate about because you think it's a societal issue or problem that you would like to see resolved or to be made aware of. And you're actually this week going to record your own public service announcement using Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a program that it's an outside program, but we can access it through Canvas. And in fact, now you see a link here. That's a Flipgrid link that you could click on to get to your assignment directly. You will also have it in week 6. For this recording, we also have a public service announcement video. You can get to it either way, by clicking here or by clicking up at the Flipgrid here, okay? So going down to the assignment, if you click on it, and you can see it's due, actually it's not due on this date, September 22nd. I will be changing this date, so don't worry about that. You're going to have about 10 days to do this assignment. It's going to be due in early October, so I'll change that. And so let's go ahead and click on it. So what you'll see is a woman here with a mask, and in the advent of COVID-19, we all have seen many public service announcements encouraging Americans to put on a mask and stop the spread of COVID. Okay, save a life, wear a mask. You've seen a lot of these particular ones. So you're going to record a PSA. It's going to be about 1 minute, okay? We don't want it longer than that. If it goes a little over, that's fine, but try to time it to 1 minute. And then that way, you want to make it interesting and you want to make your speech as clear as possible as you narrate this PSA. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can do this. Now, you already are watching a video or have watched a video on how to use Flipgrid, and I put that in the assignments this week so that you kind of get a feel for how do you record and how can you use some of the features that are in Flipgrid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through doing a PSA, my own PSA, so you can see what I did to put it together, okay? And then you can put yours together any way you want to. You don't have to follow exactly what I do. I'm just going to show you how I approach the assignment, okay? So you're going to go ahead and read this. And then I think of an issue that you're passionate about. You've really kind of already done that. And then you're going to record your own PSA. And you can add sound. Well, of course you have to add sounds, but I mean any extra sounds besides your own voice. Videos or pictures to make your message more powerful. And that's what we're going to do right now. Okay? So, a couple of ways that you can do this. You can, when you're ready to start, you can load your public service announcement. And you'll be taken to this page, and here is where you're going to record your response. But before you do that, I think you need to practice, and I needed to practice too. So I'm going to stop right here before I'm going to hit this record, because I'm going to come back to that when I've already practiced and got the real thing, okay? So let me show you how I'm going to go about doing this. All right. So I'm on the Flipgrid website, but again, this is a little different because I want to practice my recording of this. So I'm going to record a response. And you need to allow Flipgrid to get a hold of your camera and your internal microphone, or whatever microphone you're using, okay? So you've got to let Flipgrid do that, and so you're going to click Allow. And then you're going to see yourself. Now, I'm in bad lighting here, so that's kind of unfortunate. So let me see if I can turn. You can be on the screen if you want to be, or you cannot be on the screen. So before you hit this record button here, if you don't want to show yourself talking, and I'm kind of in bad lighting here. In fact, my hair is all crazy, right? So if you don't want to show your face, you are not required to. You could just be showing, just be talking, just everybody just hears your voice, and you can put pictures up to make it more interesting, okay? Now, you have to get rid of yourself off screen, you have to do it before you hit this record. Otherwise, once you start recording, it's going to capture your video image, okay? So, before I do that, I'm going to go to Effects. And the way that I block myself out if I don't feel like being on here, and by the way, if you don't mind being on screen, that's fine too, okay? And I'll show you different things you can do. So on the under Effects with Dashboard, under Effects with Board, what you're going to do is you can use any of these to block yourself out, okay? So you can just do a green background, and it will go to split screen. So if you want to have your PSA on one side and yourself on the other side, you can do that. Or if you're like, oh, I don't want to show my face at all, what you do is just move yourself out of the picture, okay? And do that before you hit this record, and then no one sees you. You can also put it on a background like this if you want, or that, or that, or just a simple whiteboard if you want to. There's some fancier ones here. You can put a galaxy up, or something a little bit more pleasant maybe. This is a little bit too harsh for my eyes. So I'm just going to go with green, and I'm going to let that be my background. But like I said, you can put yourself back into the picture and split the screen so your announcement's coming in on the right side. Or you can just do your voiceover with just your voice. But I'm also going to add pictures. So before I get started, I want my first picture up before I hit my record. That way, the students watching my presentation don't just start with a blank screen, okay? Or I can just put up my title. I can say something like this. I'm going to go back to my effects, and I'm going to put text. And I can just put the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Okay, now it's typing off screen because it's kind of big right now, so I'm going to come over here and move it. And you can see it's too big, so if you drag a corner like that, you can make it smaller. And again, I'm putting this on before I hit this record button because I want to get my viewer set up for my first picture. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I am going to go into, and by the way, you can mess around with your fonts here if you want to and do things like that, but I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, and to make the fonts bigger or smaller, you just drag it to be the size that you want it. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is I want to go to my effects and see this little back button here. That takes you back to where you were. And let's go ahead and get back to where we need to be. So that's our effects page there. And so I'm going to add a photo, okay, because I want to talk about that photo. Now what I did do is before I started even thinking of recording, I've been working on this for a few days, and I've been collecting photos that I want to put into my particular PSA. And I will show you where you can go to get free photos as a student. Now you can download photos from the internet and such, but you have to make sure that you copy and paste the website that you got it from, because even though you can use it as a student in a student project, you still have to give credit. And so I'll show you what I did to give credit. So I want to add a photo. So it calls photo stickers, okay? And drop an image or file or click to browse. And note this, it says it has to be in a PNG or a JPEG format. So if your picture's in any other form, you're going to have to convert it, or you're going to have to go out and get a new picture, okay? So I'm going to click it, and then it's going to go out to all my files here. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and I have a folder called PSA because I wanted everything in there that I was going to use. So my first picture, let me see what I want. It's not that one, not that one. I'm going to be using those later, and you're going to get a preview of some of these. And let's go up. I should have my, here we go, worldview. That's what I want, because I want people to see where this garbage patch is in relationship to the world, okay? All right, and then you want to have some facts about whatever it is that you're saying, okay? So you can have your facts open in a new window and you can read those, or somewhere off screen so your viewer can't see them unless you want your viewer to see them. All right, so then we're going to click open. Right, now I can adjust this, and then maybe I'll move this up a little bit, okay? And then you probably want to write down what you want to say about this opening picture. It could even be a video that you put in here, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you have this written down, you won't struggle as much, okay? So I'm going to talk about just this picture in my introduction to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And when I do that, I'll have to click this video so it gets recorded. Okay, so we'll begin in just a second here. Okay, let's get started and see how we do. So the first few sentences you want to say state the problem, basically. So I'm going to give just a little introduction, and then I'm going to stop and start it. Okay, so I'm going to start it and say something about it. Do you know what the largest garbage dump on the planet is? Surprisingly, it is not in any landfill on any continent in the world. Okay, so that's my first two sentences. And I want to now change my, well, I'll continue on this slide because I want to say how big it is, or where it's located first. So I'm going to hit my play again. It is located between the eastern coast of California and the eastern side and the western side of the Japanese coast. Okay, I kind of messed up my words there, so I might want to redo that. So I can do that by just clicking redo. But this is just a practice, so I'm not going to take the time to do it. So we're going to go ahead with some more. All right, so to get rid of this picture, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hit the garbage can. And then I'm going to go to my next picture, which I'm going to talk about the size. So I have a size one here. I'm going to bring up Texas, okay? So I'm going to adjust the size down because my other picture is going to fit next to it. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to keep going. And click on it. In fact, this flotilla of marine garbage is so large, 20 million square kilometers, that it is the surface area of 2 times the size of Texas. So I'm going to stop there because I've got another perspective I want them to see. So I'm going to go to my effects, and I'm going to go to photo. I've got one more photo I want to show them on how large is this thing. So I'm going to bring up that picture, and I'm going to size it over here. And so we can say, to get an idea of the scope of the problem, it is like transposing the state of Texas over the map of Europe twice. It is amazing to think that our plastic and our fishing line and our rope and our metals, all of our garbage, are taking up that size of our ocean. Okay, so I'm going to hold it there. Now I'm going to go to my next picture, so I'm going to delete these pictures from it. And the next picture I have is why should we care? And so I'm going to put my effects, and I'm going to go to my photo. And I'm going to come into my other picture here. And I have a infographic, 9 reasons to refuse. Okay. That's the one there. So I have an infographic, and I got these from Google. I got these from searching the internet, but I made a page of every single website I got this because I want to give credit to all the sources. I didn't create that infographic. So at the end of my presentation, I'll put up my sources so people know that I got these from, this is from www.lessplastic.com in the UK. So I might want to talk about the reasons here that that we should care. And I'm going to actually just kind of read them from this graphic, and that will be my next part of my PSA. Okay, so here we go. There are 9 reasons that we, as citizens of this planet, should refuse to use single-use plastic, and the reasons we should recycle. 1, they're made from fossil fuels, and that puts a carbon footprint onto our Earth and gives us global warming. Okay? They stay here for hundreds of years. They leach toxins into our food and drink, and they cause hormonal imbalance. So for some reason that stopped playing, so I'll have to stop that. But anyway, you get the idea. We can read from that. And I think the problem is, here's the problem. I think that we get a maximum of 1:30 to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this 1:30 to 5 minutes. Now, I'm not expecting you to take the entire 5 minutes to do your PSA, but if you were slow like I am, it gives you a little bit of time to get yourself in order and say what you want to say. But about 1.5 to 3 minutes is where you want to talk, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes so you're not having to redo this over and over again. Okay? So you'll have that much time. Let's go ahead and see what we've got so far. So when you click on next, you can look at your PSA. And it's going to ask if I want to do anything else. What it's asking me to do is to take a selfie. And the selfie just lets you show who it's from. So you can either put a picture of yourself, or you can just put any picture that you want to represent. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm just going to use that as my selfie. And I'm going to go here to next. And then it's going to say uploading your video. It's Stevie Daniels. There's a link, and the title is PSA on the Great. Let's go this way. And then we submit it. And it will say success. And then we can complete it. And then it's going to be put into our responses here. And then I can go to my site and see all of your submissions. Now you are going to go and respond the week after. You're going to respond to each person's video. Okay, you're not going to do it this week because people are getting it together. And all you have to do is submit it. But then we will all go and we're going to see each person's responses. And the great thing about that is that we will be able to respond to this person's video. So if we wanted to watch that and we thought that was pretty cool, then once we watched it, we can add a comment. Okay? So let's see what we have so far.
Do you know what the largest garbage dump on the planet is? Surprisingly, it is not in any landfill on any continent in the world. It is located between the eastern coast of California and the eastern side and the western side of the Japanese coast. In fact, this flotilla of marine garbage is so large, 20 million square kilometers, that it is the surface area of 2 times the size of Texas. To get an idea of the scope of the problem, it is like transposing the state of Texas over the map of Europe twice. It is amazing to think that our plastic and our fishing line and our rope and our metals, all of our garbage, are taking up that size of our ocean. There are 9 reasons that we, as citizens of this planet, should refuse to use single-use plastic, and the reasons we should recycle. 1, they're made from fossil fuels, and that puts a carbon footprint onto our Earth and gives us global warming. Okay? They stay here for hundreds of years. They leach toxins into our food and drink.
So you see, I didn't have a chance to finish, but so you can just have one graphic on your slide, and you can just talk for 60 seconds if you like. If putting graphics on here is a real problem, then you can just talk for 60 seconds or a minute and a half. And but it's certainly more interesting if you will put pictures up so we can enjoy listening to your presentation. So that is how we do it. And just to reiterate, what you'll be doing is coming into class, and from our student view here, you can go just to the Flipgrid assignment. Okay, and then you're going to hit record a response when you're ready. You're going to allow, but notice that you're staying in. Hi, everybody. Notice that you're staying within Canvas and that you can record directly in Canvas. So just to do that as real quick. Now, when you guys start, it's going to actually start automatically with you being on screen. So you might have to say hi real quick, and then you can stop it and then do your effects like that, okay? And get into your effects like we did before. And then you just next through it, and once you hit that submit button, it's going to say success. So let me just show you what it's like to keep going. This is my PSA. These are all the wonderful things I have to say about it. This is what I want you to do to clean up the environment, yada, yada, yada. Thank you. And we're going to stop. You go next. You can look at your video.
Now, when you guys start, it's going
to ask you to take a selfie and then go next. Upload your video. You have to put your test student in here. So that's test student. So I know I'm Stevie Daniels, but I'm in test student mode. I have no link, and then I'm going to say PSA on Great Pacific UCIFIC Garbage Patch. Okay, hit submit. I don't need a period there. Hit submit. Everybody's going to go, woohoo, yay! And hit complete, don't forget that. And then that's what's going to show up. So real quick, the last thing I wanted to show you is that I did keep a list of resources that I wrote down what the picture was, and then I wrote the website for every place that I did go. So you want to do that as well, because I will be asking you to submit that. I'll have a separate place for you to submit that because we have to keep honest and we have to be respectful of copyright. And that's all I'm going to expect you to do. Just write down the name of the picture, give it a name. Like I have a water bottle of a woman drinking. Because I didn't finish my PSA, I extended it to 5 minutes. So if I went back and finished my PSA, I would have my call to people on what I want them to do, how I want them to solve the problem. But again, just for today, I got halfway through mine, and that's good enough. All right, so be sure that you're keeping a log of where you're getting all your resources, and then probably in week 7, I'll have you turn that in. Okay, don't worry about it for this week, but keep track because it really is a lot of work to go back and try to find where you got all those pictures. All right, everybody, that's it. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see your videos. And remember, you're not responding to anybody's video this week. You'll do that in week 7, but you're going to be posting your PSA. Can't wait. Can't wait. All right. Have a good week.